Hey guys, it's Chris. From practically living in a bunker to entire cities that were built underground, join me as I show you 9 underground homes. Number 9. Derinkuyu Underground City. People have taken advantage of underground homes for thousands of years. Turkey is known for having many underground cities, and they just keep seeming to find more of them. This particular city happened to be found in the Cappadocia region of the country. Back in their heyday, these cities were hand-carved from the volcanic ash that lies within. Not your standard building materials, but they worked well for the Turks. One of the biggest and most famous of all, though, is the Derinkuyu Underground City. Standing at 18 stories in size, it's a massive city. So much so that it's said it could have housed around 20,000 people at its peak during the Byzantine era, as people hid from the Muslim Arab invasion. That's from 780 to 1180 AD. Now, as far as how it was found in the modern day, well, it truly was an accident. For a man in Turkey was trying to renovate his home in 1963, and as he knocked down a wall to his house, he found himself looking at a secret tunnel, one that led to the city of Derinkuyu. There are a lot of mysteries in this place. Easily the biggest is that it's unclear who made the city and when it was inhabited. One of the biggest guesses is the Hittites. But there were a lot of big-name nations and cultures in this part of Turkey at the time, so thus it's impossible to know for sure who made it. Any Persian construction would have been done before the Hittites, so it might date back to around 1500 to 1200 BC. Yes, it's clear that whoever lived here had a thriving society, as there were shops, stables, meeting halls, and much more, including a stone door that was used to help protect the city. Number 8. Woodlyn Park, home to the Hobbit Motel. Lord of the Rings is one of the most beloved series of all time, and both the books and movies showed off the town of Hobbiton greatly. But for fans, they wanted to create their own Hobbit experience. So in Woodlyn Park, which is on the North Island of New Zealand, where all 6 Middle-earth films were made, they decided to recreate Hobbiton in their own way. And they made the very first Hobbit Motel. Not unlike a Hobbit home, the motel is underground, and the roof is actually grass that you can walk on, due to the fact that it's connected to a nearby hill. You might be looking at this and think, is this an actual working motel? And it is, in fact. The designers used polystyrene blocks to ensure that the Hobbit Motel would not only cool during the summer, but warm during the winter. So this is a motel you can truly go to all year round, depending on when you're available. In fact, not unlike an actual Hobbit home, it's actually quite well furnished and very spacious. Rooms feature beds, kitchens, and more, and they can have up to 6 people stay in each room. It should also be noted that also in New Zealand is a recreation of Hobbiton itself via the movie sets. Number 7. COOBER PEDY. COOBER PEDY in Australia seems like just another town in the world in certain aspects. It just so happens that this town is right next to the biggest opal mine in the world. It definitely doesn't help, though, that their location is in a place that has no shade or barricade from the sun, which can literally roast the surface where the people live. So the people of the town made a decision. They were going to live in the mines. And this is no joke. The people of COOBER PEDY live down there. But why live in a mine? First off, it is cooler in there. Because of the design and the rock structure, you won't get hotter than 75 degrees in the caves, which is at least 30 degrees cooler than what's going on the surface. And that's a big difference when you're trying to live comfortably. Speaking of which, some have been able to outfit their homes with things like pools. And their homes within the mines are actually rather nice, and they've even gotten electricity into them in certain ways. Number 6. Cave home. Back in ancient times, it made sense for people to live in caves and mountains. But even though we live in the modern age, that doesn't mean people aren't still living underground via caves, because there are several places on different continents where they do just that. For the record, I speak of modern-day people who decide to live in caves. Apparently, there's a cave in China where not only are people living, but they're living like modern people, but in a cave. As if this wasn't crazy enough, there are 30 million people apparently living there. If you're wondering how that's possible, well, it's a really big cave. Plus, they use both natural and modern resources to build the homes in the cave. There are also farms in the cave, and because of how it's constructed, it's very efficient in terms of both people and energy. But what if you want all the modern features in a cave? Well, you can pay extra to get those. You can even have a yard in your cave. Another such place, but one on a much smaller scale, can be found in Festus, Missouri, where Curt and Deborah Sleeper live in a 15,000 square foot sandstone cave. Because of how they built their home, they actually have geothermal energy to heat them, and they never need air conditioning, thus technically making it cheaper to live in this place versus a place in the city. That being said, the cave home is up for sale if you're interested. Number 5. Villa VALS. In VALS, Switzerland is a very unique house known as Villa VALS, an underground home that is only exposed to the world on one side, and is actually one that tunnels into the Swiss Alps. Villa VALS was designed by Bjarne Mastenbroek and Christian Mueller, respectively, of the architectural offices Search and CMA. Their design plan was to completely integrate the villa into the landscape to avoid disturbing the unspoiled nature. The entire space, which includes the front-facing part of the house and the core of the villa within the mountain, was designed to be a spectacle of Dutch design. In fact, many different Dutch designers came together in order to create the house and furnish it. The result is what many refer to as a masterpiece of interior design, while creating a unique atmosphere within the underground setting. The place that Villa VALS is in within Switzerland is also next to many other homes and places, including a high-quality restaurant only walking distance away. Number 4. Eco Home by Make Architects. This interesting underground home was made by Make Architects for British football star Gary Neville. He wanted a home that was both in the environment, but also environmentally friendly, a true eco-home. The home itself is actually 8,000 square feet in total, but because it's built underground, it's only 1 story tall. Make Architects truly made this home eco-friendly, as energy consumption is at a minimum, likely due to how most of the house is underground, and thus doesn't need a lot of energy to cool or heat it. Which is perfect, as the house itself has photovoltaic panels and wind turbines to generate renewable energy. Adding to the visual aspect, the design was done to both flow with the environment itself while also giving Gary a view to the environment around him. So by and large, this is a unique home that was perfect for the person who wanted to live there. Number 3. Dune House. Near Atlantic Beach in Florida is a very curious set of houses, both of which are underground. Technically speaking, they are a duplex. They were built in 1975 by architect William Morgan to use as vacation rentals. This is significant for 2 different reasons. First of which was that he, Morgan, lived next door and thus wanted to make another house for someone to enjoy the beach like he did. And the second reason it's significant was the mindset of the man making the duplex. Mainly, he wanted to make the home, but not have it block his view of the beach. His solution was to literally build the duplex into the sand dune that the land he had was on. And he did just that with surprisingly nice results. Both sides of the duplex have easy access back to the world and have 750 square feet of space each to live on. The best part about the Dune house is the view from the 2 sides. For on the side facing the street, you see nothing but the grassy knoll and the doors leading into the house. But on the other side that faces the beach, you see many openings, a couple staircases, and even a balcony of sorts for the owners to relax and soak up the sun. Number 2. Bella Vista Hotel. Out in Italy, there's a whole hotel that is built into the ground to help make it completely eco-friendly. This is the Bella Vista Hotel of Boston. The hotel itself was made by Matteo Thun, who made the entire hotel with the goal of it being a place where someone could come year-round to enjoy, and for the hotel itself to withstand any weather. So he built them into the ground. constructed 11 hostel areas for people to reside in, and it was exactly what he promised. Like many eco-friendly homes, all the areas of this hotel have sustainable energy and are able to be heated and cooled naturally throughout the year. Furthermore, the designers wanted to create a harmonious image with the design. Thus why they look like extensions of the nearby area, instead of obvious landmarks built by humans. Many appreciate the style and eco-friendliness of the hotel and have come to visit it solely for this reason. Number 1. SUGOKRI Earth House. Located in a forest clearing in Seoul, South Korea, the SUGOKRI Earth House is not your typical type of underground home, mainly because on the surface of the actual ground, it looks like nothing more than a bunker. Mainly because it was made out of concrete, but it was actually built with the intention of honoring a poet and showing off the balance between man and nature. Earth House is a house of the sky. It's a house built in honor of Yoon Dong-ju, a Korean poet who wrote beautiful poems about the sky, the earth, and the stars. It's a house which focuses on the primal relationship between nature and humans. It's built with careful consideration of constructural efficiency and our somatic senses. BCHO architects designed the SUGOKRI Earth House, and it really is a house once you go into it, including having many living areas, windows, doors, and more. Its simple design reflects the poet it was built in honor of, and it's for those who seek a more simple way of living. Thanks for watching. What did you think of these special underground homes? Can you believe that there are also underground cities where people still live or used to live? Do you know of other underground homes that are in the world today? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to World List, and I'll see you next time.